Good morning, folks. Nova Scotia's provincial budget. Friday morning, about 7:45 in the morning, 24th day of March, 2023. Nova Scotia's provincial budget introduced yesterday by Alan McMaster Bird and his sidekick, Little Squeeze, or maybe he's Little Squeeze for Terrible Timothy. $14 billion budget. We're now up to 45% of our budget in healthcare. It is 45%. $6.5 billion Canadian money. You divide that by a million people, easy figure to do. We're spending $6,500 per person. 2 years in a house, the government spent $13,000 new last year. We don't have world-class healthcare. That's bullshit. You tell that Terrible Timothy, world-class healthcare. You tell that to the wonderful elderly lady that been in fine format. No, then there was a hospital in Amherst just after the Christmas, New Year's time, that died at 90. The wonderful gentleman, the firefighter lady, 37 years old, on the floor for hours in a crouched up fetal position, finally put in a bed, nobody seen her till she was nearly dead. Put in a bed till she was nearly dead and died. You tell that to her husband and children, that world-class healthcare, Terrible Timothy says in Nova Scotia. Bullshit! Money doesn't solve the problem. They gave the nurses and the doctors $10,000. Now they're squawking in the neighboring province of Brunswick. We want that too. Okay? Money doesn't solve the problem. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, former Premier by then, John Savage, and people can make snide comments, Savage days, blah, blah, blah. Something had to be done under free spending Tories, and more than that in a second. Free spending Tories with other people's money. Somebody in their wisdom, after he was Premier for one term from 93 to 97, he worked for a mining company, I think it's Truscan out of Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, doing medical work in clinics in a nation in Africa. His company operated, and he was asked to speak at the Parkview Education Centre, the South Shore Community, South Shore Vocational School, and now known as Community College. And they're wonderful. I love the South Shore people. They're wonderful. I love those people. They're rock solid characters. So you go to that whole South Shore. They're solid characters. Anyway, he pointed out that the country he was working in, he was the graduation guest speaker, they were spending $10 per person in healthcare. At the time, we were spending $1,700 a year in healthcare in Nova Scotia. So the population at that time was probably 940,000 people. So we were spending about 1.6 billion in healthcare. Now we're spending $6.5 billion. Now, that's about 23 years ago. We're only 3 months to New Year. Okay, so 22 years, you divide, basically in slightly more than 20 years, at this rate of increase, it'll be up by fourfold, 6,500. We'll be spending an incredible $26,000 a year in healthcare. A lot of people in our province don't make that in a year. $26,000 per person a year in healthcare. Right now, $6,500, giving the department a big increase. All those stupid bonuses do no good. I can see the CCAs, continuing care assistants, and LPNs. Both of those, I got a soft spot for them. They're excellent. The CCAs, continuing care assistants, and LPNs, they probably could have got a little bonus, which they got some already, mind you, earlier in the year. But the nurses and the doctors, absolutely not. No. So there you have Alan McMaster, knows sweet fuck all about money. He got, I was up in Toronto. It was up there, what was it? Nesbitt Burns. Okay, I was Mr. Finance Guy. Next JP Morgan. Next Rockefeller. Warren Buffett in his own mind. Okay, and Terrible Timothy. There's nothing conservative about the bastard. He's spending money like a fool. Okay, a deficit of $250 million, almost $250 million, with the monies coming in from the other free-spending bastard in Ottawa, and he's a bastard, Justin Trudeau. They could have easily, if they were a little bit careful with their spending and not spend like fools, paid $500 million on our debt. I'll repeat that. We could have taken, if the money pouring in from Ottawa right now, and the economy for the most part, humming along. The revenue's coming in. They could have put $500 million on our debt. Instead, they're adding $250,000 more in deficit spending. $250 million more. With that, I gotta go. My porridge is ready, and I'm going to eat my porridge. Thank you very much. All the best. God bless. But giving more money to doctors, nurses, doesn't, and spending more, it's being squandered. With that, I got to go. Thank you very much. All the best. Bye for now.